But for us, we feel that okay, there's one thing speaking the truth and there's one thing speaking facts. So it can be a fact, but we can change it, right? By doing things like this. And when I saw the kind of thoughts that went through the solutions that these young people were providing, I felt like there's something good in these young people.
Right, it's not systemized. Because in Ghana, it's not a credit system. You don't get reports like daily and everything. It's just going today, send money to your girlfriend. Not me, but like today, because people we interview today, send money to your girlfriend. Today,
who do you send money to?
My mom.
Your girlfriend is watching.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Building Bytes, where we tell relevant stories about the Ghanaian tech ecosystem, driving growth and innovation. And today, we have an interesting convo we'll be having, focusing on the use case of AI in finance and the lessons learned from the Hack with Achieve event. And before we move into anything about the conversation, we want to first start with Poga and what's happening in tech.
Okay, so this week on what's happening in tech, there's a report by ISA and Refined, supported by the Ghana Statistical Service about business and digitization. So they find out that only 37% of Ghanaian business use digital payments, according to the report. And the report also state that agriculture is one of the lowest sector where digitization is. And also stated that most of the digitization is mainly concentrated in Accra. So one interesting thing it found was that firms led by women managers show a higher revenue and are more likely to adopt merchant accounts. One interesting one, I think that's a good one for us on gender inclusion on that front. Also, it pointed out some issues holding back digitization. Notable ones are fraud concerns and also knowledge gap. People not being able to use digital product that well because of their lack of literacy thereof, and perceived lack of return on digitization investments. People don't see the value in probably digitizing their process. Especially in relation to payments. I don't know what you guys think about it.
In terms of, with them, because they also do like payments.
Yes.
So the case is that people are not fully adopting digital, and are not adopting it fast. Or what's the case on digital payment?
It's very low, 37%, very low, and also highly concentrated in Accra. Some sectors like agriculture is very low, but I think the good thing is women managers are more likely to get higher returns on their business and, adopt a merchant account. That's according to the reports.
Okay.
Yeah. So it shows the landscape. I think last week we did the Ghana Tech, I think the last two episodes on the Ghana Tech ecosystem. It's just the average, Ghanaian has a high adopts technology very well, purchases online, data users and all. It was very good, but when you put that into business, small business per se, it looks like it's not all that great. Yeah.
So what do you have for it? What do you think?
I'm just I don't know how come they found out that women are early adopters of the merchant SIM for business and all that. That's very interesting.
That's very interesting.
And it's not surprising that the adoption rate is more in Accra, because when you're traveling, even going to Koforidua, moving from Accra to Koforidua, you find villages along the road, and that's not too far from Accra. So internet availability outside Accra is not that great. So it's not surprising to find out that people are not even adopting, because I'm sure even the services for them to use outside Accra are not even available. So it's quite telling. Just that the women bit is what I'm thinking about.
I also think it's a process. I would like to see it like as an opportunity, for digital payments, because it has to start from somewhere. And I think my assumption for why women are, leading the charges in the local susu system,
Yeah.
it's usually women
Yeah.
that champion it, right?
Yeah.
If you go these cooperatives, those who go around, collecting susu, it's women that usually do that. So I'd say probably that's why, women are leading the charge for this particular report. But I think there's been some growth, and just like the way mobile money came to take over now, almost everyone is using mobile money.
Yeah.
So I feel
Now
like
that E-Levy is gone, so yeah.
exactly, exactly. So the conditions are there for it to grow. So I'm just hoping that the next report is going to highlight that.
Awesome. Yeah. I think also, as you said, it presents opportunity for growth and, for, innovators and entrepreneurs to capitalize on that. It presents opportunities for them to build products and, to help these entrepreneurs and small businesses adopt digitization much more faster.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we move on to the next article. The government has launched its 1 million coders project. There was a little bit of news on Twitter about that, but maybe we won't delve into that. Yeah, it's open it up, registration for everybody to register. Locations, curious enough, is Accra, Kumasi, Sunyani, and Bolgatanga. Those are the ones that are open for registration. I think you can go to the 1millioncoders.gov.gh to register. Courses are certified cyber professional, certified network support technician, data analysts. Somebody said data analyst is basically Power BI. Yeah. In the hours. I don't know how true that is. Yeah. But yeah, data analyst, certified data protection supervisor, certified data protection practitioner, certified data protection practitioner, and certified data protection officer.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically it's been launched. Registration has been opened.
For me, I think whatever I have in mind or whatever I've said, a lot of people have said it. And what was the basis to select whatever courses they are offering and the courses they're offering now? Why those courses? Are they really targeting 1 million people? Are the 1 million the selected regions? Why those regions? I mean, those questions are justifiable questions that maybe if they provide understanding to it, it makes sense to everyone. So no region will feel like they've been left out. No program will feel they are not addressed, because even though they can be saying 1 million coders and all that, there's even nothing on software development to start with. So yes, but they believe it's also coding, no problem. There are people coding who can't even interpret what they are coding or sell what they are coding. Why are they not added to it? I think there are a lot of questions there, but I'm sure the government has thought really deep into it, and I'm curious to know how deep they've thought into it and share those insights with us. Yeah, Marco, what do you think?
I think for me, I like the sound of the initiative. I think that so I think the future actually is tech.
Yeah.
But sometimes sometimes like some of these things, the intentionality and being deliberate about it, sometimes it's something we have to really look at.
Yeah.
Like we have to do something, we are doing it, but like what's the end game, right?
Yeah.
What are we going to do? We just want to have 1 million coders, and so what? So I do not have too much info about it, but I just hope that it's really something that we are intentional about. We are not just doing it because it has to be done.
Yeah.
It's not just for settings.
Yeah.
It's something that like we really want to do it and see the use.
Impact, yeah.
I wanted to give some example, but it might be political, so let's leave it.
Anything on that.
I also don't want to be too political, but I think it was in their manifesto. So I want to see how they're going to execute on it.
Yeah.
As to why they chose the particular, niches, cybersecurity, data analytics.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but probably they've done their research,
Definitely.
and that's why they want to come up with these courses. So yeah, we look to see how it to be executed. I think we definitely have a lot of young people that want to learn, they want to study, but there should be a pipeline where they're not just learning how to code, but then if internships or job opportunities are made for them, that would be really awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, our last news.
Okay, so our last news, I think the Minister of Communication during his vetting mentioned about his registering system again. So yeah, I think they're about to kick it off, and he said it's going to be entirely online, and there won't be any queue. Yeah, and this is expected to cut wait times. I'm wondering if you'll be online and don't be in a queue while we're talking about wait times. But yeah, it's expected to cut wait times. Yeah, basically that. Yeah, so I don't know your reaction. I mean,
Yeah. SIM registration. I think it's one of the works we've done and done and done.
yeah,
It
this
seems
might be
like-
the fourth or
Yeah.
the third time. I don't know.
I'm not sure it's going to end with this,
I
but
think fourth. Yeah.
whatever they do, maybe like NIA's office now. Maybe next time they should just route SIM registration in one of the offices, and anybody can just go there and go and do it. And it should stop being like a national project. Every like 4 or 8 years, we have to do SIM registration. I think we should look beyond it. I mean, in the long term, how we can make it like a systemic thing that if let's say you are born, you're expected to get a SIM card. So where do you get a SIM card, like your birth certificate? Or when you get your birth certificate, doesn't even come with a SIM card. Get it and you move on. When you're 18 years, you open a bank account to get a SIM card. I think we should just make it part of our
system.
our
right?
system, yes, and stop
Yeah.
all this. It shouldn't even be government who should be registering like SIM cards.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are fortunate or unfortunate to be in this situation.
Yeah, good. So yeah, I think the systems must work.
So,
It's interesting how they say there'll be queues, everything will be done online, and there's a survey that's saying that the digital adoption is like less than 40%.
Yeah.
So what happens to the rest, the 60% of the people,
Yeah.
which are now the majority? So
Yeah.
that'll be interesting to see how this is going to pan out. Yeah, looking at it, definitely there'll be some queues at some internet cafes.
yeah, definitely.
But yeah, let's see what Jata is going to do.
Let's see what Jata is going to do.
Okay, let's talk what's happening in tech this week. You can find more news articles at techleaders.africa. Yeah, back to
Okay.
you, Caleb.
Yes, so we are moving straight into our talking bites, and the discussion for today is the local use case of AI in finance, lessons from the Hack with Achieve hackathon. For those who maybe are wondering what Hack with Achieve hackathon means, you get like a deep understanding, so relax, just don't rush. There's no rush. In this episode, we are going to dive into how artificial intelligence is finding real world use cases in Ghana's financial sector, starting with the insights from the Hack with Achieve hackathon. And we are glad to be joined by Kwabena Nyamekye-Dapaah. I think it was the Michael. He says it's Dapaah. It's not Dapaah.
The UK.
Yeah, the
word.
UK one. Which one are you?
I'm Dapaah.
Okay, Dapaah. Marketing manager at Achieve by Petra, who walks us through why this hackathon was launched and why and what they learned and how they're supporting innovation in the fintech ecosystem. And he's joined by I don't know, his assistant Joel.
Yeah, Joe.
Yeah.
Joe is the product officer.
Okay, awesome,
Product
awesome.
marketing officer.
All right. So aside Joel, we also have the winning teams here who will be joining us as the conversation goes on. So if you want to find out what happened, who won, just still stay tuned. And you get to know all that. So to start with, what is Hack with Achieve?
So Hack with Achieve was set up for the 1 million coders to put a spotlight on them.
Simple and short.
Oh,
After they go to the
I think-
coding, they
I
will
think-
put a spotlight on them.
at this point, the government should just sign a deal and
They should sign a deal with us.
There's a hackathon for the 1 million coders already.
Let them learn and come and participate.
I don't know, maybe data analysts could code something.
Yeah,
for us.
definitely.
They'll come as Power BI. Anyway,
Yeah.
so Hack with Achieve by Petra was set out to put a spotlight on Ghanaian talent in the tech space.
Okay.
So if you know the story of how Achieve came about, so Achieve, it was around, I think, COVID time 2020, and we wanted to find out a way that we can make financial services available to people in the comfort of their homes.
Snapper.
So COVID necessitated that. We had to think of ways of making things accessible without people crowded. So that's when some young people started. So it was a project of young Ghanaians finding solutions. So that's how Achieve started. And today we have over 320,000 people using the app actively.
Yeah.
So we thought of doing something similar for the next generation, because people believed in these young people and they're able to bring out a solution. So we also believe in the young talents in Ghana, and we believe that Ghanaians in Ghana can provide homegrown solutions to solve problems in Ghana that can become of global repute. So today, our team is in part of our team is in India. World Summit Award is it's under the UN, and Achieve is representing Ghana as one a financial app that is making waves and changing lives. Yes. So they are there and they are pitching and selling the idea. So we can actually do things in Ghana to attract talent outside, to attract people outside. And I saw things like that being done during the hackathon. Young people between the ages of 18 to 25. Some were students, some came from UMAD, University of Ghana, Knatsford, KNUST. And these guys were providing solutions. And we believe that if you're able to do this sustainably, we are able to let people know that if they put their work together, they can actually do something, and people are out there willing to support them to do that. So that's why we started this hackathon, and we believe it has come to stay, and we are going to push it hard and make sure that all the young people who are in the tech space and all the ones that the 1 million coders is going to produce, we are going to make good use of them.
Awesome. So just to highlight again, Achieve is a digital platform with over 320,000 users, simplifying investment and financial planning for the everyday Ghanaian. Wow, 320,000. But we don't want to go off there. I'm sure some of the 320,000 are part of the coders. So I mean, fintech is exploring. I mean, sometimes we've noticed across fintechs is that they're exploring like credit scoring and fraud detection. I mean, startups building like financial literacy tools with chatbots in local languages. I mean, banks experimenting with AI-powered customer support, data scientists prototyping and analyzing savings behavior and spending patterns. Why was the hackathon now? Why did you feel the hackathon was a good time to do the hackathon?
We felt, I think the best time for us to do the hackathon was years back. We just had to do it because the time was right. I don't have any amazing answer to why we had to do it the time we did it. It was just right. So it was at a management meeting, and we were having conversations about the tech space, conversations about the app, and it just came up that we should have a hackathon and put the spotlight on Ghanaian talent. And we thought through it, and of course, marketing was there, so marketing had to make it happen. So we spoke with the product team, spoke with all the stakeholders involved, and I must say that we had some very good support from Academic City, good support from Code and Cocktails. Yes, it's worth mentioning Stefan and Sedem. These guys came in handy, very resourceful, and I think it was just time because the effort that they put in really made this happen, and we had 77 participants in 20 teams. And these young people spent 36 hours with little or no rest. And they were just motivated to do this thing. And I was just going through some of the solutions that they provided, and I was like, Charlie, if these guys at their age are thinking like this, I know somebody said that when you're born in Africa or when you're born in Ghana, you are disadvantaged. Or you're born in Ghana, speak like a Ghanaian, have a Ghanaian accent, never lived outside before, you're disadvantaged. And if you look at it, truly, in the face of the competition that we have out there, and some of the things that people at our age are doing out there, is sort of true. But for us, we feel that, okay, there's one thing speaking the truth, and there's one thing speaking facts. So it can be a fact, but we can change it, by doing things like this. And when I saw the kind of thoughts that went through the solutions that these young people were providing, I felt like there's something good in these young people. And today, sometimes you see, I always tell people that those who are providing the true solutions are not talking. And those who are just providing things that are not necessary are the ones making the noise. So people are saying that these young people, they are not doing anything. These young people, I mean, so complains. But when you get close to young people like the ones we got close to, the 77 participants from the 28th to the 30th of March, you have a different perception of the future that this nation has. And it was just the right time. And these guys are super. They are super.
I mean, it was interesting finding out that actually wanted to do something on finance with AI, because we'd have thought things of AI at this point would be happening in Silicon Valley and maybe some London and New York or something. But it's interesting that Ghana is catching up with the trend or the whole shift. I mean, some years ago, if somebody was building an app, probably would say, okay, they'll launch it in Europe first before it gets here. But with things like AI, it's synced so fast. And we want to find out what some of the innovations or the things that people built at that time, what happened there, share some of the experiences that came up there.
So I'll share some of them, and they are also here, so they'll speak more to it. But some of the ones that were very interesting was, I think, the one who won the first place. So for them, they found out that making repetitive transactions was a problem. So if you have to send money to your girlfriend, send money to your father, send money to your mother, send money to all the people you have to send money to, it's just too much time on your phone. So they thought that you could do this with a voice prompt. So you just say send money to Akosia. And the system does that for you. And they actually demoed it, and it was good. And I felt like that was amazing. And then another one was it was a peer-to-peer lending platform. Where people, they could get people on, and they could do lending. And then there was an AI that tracks people's behavior to see how they spend, to see how much money comes to their mobile money, so that it can see whether these people are worthy to get loans or worthy to pay back. Right? And for me, it's really the thoughts that these young people put in. And I think there was another one too about financial literacy. So they were trying to bridge the gap between between the gap that lies between financial literacy. What people really know about financial literacy. So today, a lot of people are looking for information on financial literacy, and sometimes the kind of info that they read about are things that are not very relating to them. And this AI tries to find out things within your space and provide you the information that will help you make good financial decisions. And these are some of the ones that really stood out for me. And it was great seeing them, and they actually had to do this presentation within like 7 minutes. And they were able to do it. Right? Some of them had very good, I mean, it wasn't just about the AI. Some of them did some very good presentation. I think one of the presentations that stood out was, I think, Team Excellence. What is that guy's name?
How about that? Right.
Very, 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 very interesting stuff. And I think there was another financial co-pilot. So it's an AI-powered personal finance assistant, tracks expenses, analyze spendings, automate transaction, and AI insights. And speaking of Team Excellence, so they also did one that was something wrapped. So what they do is they pick information from all your financial apps, and then they make it easy for you to assimilate, right? So that if you want to know how you spent your money, I think beginning of this year, Spotify did some rap. Spotify rap. I think Achieve also did a rap. So I think they picked that kind of mindset from there, so that you do not have to now go to your Momo, go to your bank to
Yeah.
see how you spent your money.
Yeah.
You can just see it aesthetically on your phone using AI
Yeah.
to see where
What
your
is-
money is going, what you've spent your money on. And these are great ideas. For me, we are really looking at engaging them even more
Okay.
so that they don't sleep on the idea.
Yeah.
The judges gave them some very good feedback
Yeah.
because some of the ideas look good on paper,
Yeah.
but you have to think deeper into it. It doesn't mean that it's not a good idea.
Yeah.
Just means that it needs more thought.
Yeah.
And of course, it was 36 hours.
Yeah.
So we want to urge them to refine them, and then not to sell the ideas, but to develop them.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's
But I'm curious, Joe.
Yeah.
What time did the hackathon start? At what point did it end? What are some of the things they had to do or they were doing to make the results, the ideas they had, be able to implement it and share with the team and the audience there?
Yeah, so I think one really important part that made the hackathon really successful was that we had mentors on ground
Okay.
who were also there for the 36 hours, were not sleeping as well.
Interesting.
So at 2 a.m., we had mentors going around, table by table, speaking to these participants, these hackers, right?
Okay.
But also, 36 hours from Friday
Yeah.
around 7 p.m. That's when we started officially,
Okay.
to Sunday around 4 p.m. where we ended.
Okay.
Right, it was within that time. Most of them did not go home.
Oh.
Right, but then we had some really fun activities as well for them. We had some aerobic session where they could stretch out their muscles and get the blood circulation flowing in their bodies. We also had some team bonding participant bonding activities as well. We had the group lunch where they all sat together, shared ideas, talked about how it was going among themselves. But I think the most important part was the mentors, right? The mentors on ground who were there with them, helping them out when they had issues as well. So that's what I'll say about that.
Okay. For you too, what was your standout thing in the 36 hours?
I think one thing that really stood out for me was when we had to interview all the 20 groups on a live podcast.
Okay.
So I was surprised that we had constantly between 350 to 400 people watching.
Wow.
Yeah.
We ended around like 11 or 12.
Yeah.
And people, we
still watching.
we actually had to change, what's the name?
The phone number.
No, the people were doing the interviewers, right? Yes. So
Because
he
we were
was
glued.
there.
Yeah.
He did for some time.
Yeah.
Then Joe took over, and people were listening. So for me, it's like, Charlie, there's a market, right?
Yeah.
People want to see things like this.
Yeah.
Okay. So for me, and on the day of the last day, the Sunday, we had 1,000 people watching.
Wow.
And constantly 700 people were on for close to 5 hours that we were shooting.
Yeah.
And it was, for me, it really stood out for me. And for me, it tells that this is a space that people are interested in. And some of the participants even had their parents come through.
Yeah.
Their parents came to support them on the Sunday. So it's good. It's the future is exciting.
I can feel that.
And we really look forward to have more sponsors on board, so that we can really open this up and probably even have it in other have it in Sunyani, Kumasi, Bogota.
It's like the 1 million coders.
Interesting.
So
Interesting. All right. So I think we want to take some of the team the winners to come and get their ideas, what they worked on, and see how exciting it was and what it feels like building such things. So in a moment, some of the team members will join us and we will take from there. Yep. So we are glad to have the second runners up from the Hack with Achieve
by Petra.
Winner here, the second runner up, winner Team Excellence. Can you introduce yourself and tell us what?
Okay, so my name is Bright Sabada, and I'm a level 200 student, computer science student in University of Ghana.
Awesome. So what did you work on? What was your idea?
Okay, so first of all, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity, thank God for the opportunity, and throw some light on my teammates. I had my teammates Ralph, Fuseni, and Dominic. We're all in 200, but Ralph is in level 300.
Okay.
Okay, so with the problem, what we worked on, I'll start from the problem statements. But the reason I'm starting from there is because it's authentic. It's something we actually faced.
Okay.
I personally faced, and we had to like think about. It wasn't gotten from the sky or from checking the air or something.
Okay.
So I'll walk you through the problem from my life.
Okay.
Okay, so we all use mobile money here. That's my main source of like performing transactions, like, and probably the other financial apps we have with the banks. So every time we make a transaction, you could like make on campus you make about like, from our survey, people make about like 4 to 15 transactions a day.
Yeah.
Right, and there's so much cash inflow, cash outflow, and actually keeping track of how much is going in and out is a problem.
Yeah.
Right, it's not systemized. Because in Ghana, it's not a credit system. You don't get reports like daily and everything. It's just going in. Today, you send money to your girlfriend. Not me, but like today, the people we interview today, you send money to your girlfriend. Today,
Who do you send money to?
My mom.
Your girlfriend is watching.
That's a big lie. Your mom doesn't send money to you.
Oh, no, I bless her, she blesses her. So there's so much. Back to the point, there's so much like cash flow and inflow, and we don't actually keep track. And we saw that like we're trying to actually think big when it comes to like this achieve by Petra, which is so good. I don't like to think small at all. None of my teammates like to think small. But in thinking big, we wanted to think big from the roots. Because we saw this to be a cultural problem. Ghanaians are bad with keeping track of like spending, even if it's other things, unless they have like a systemized productive system. You get it? So we wanted to find a way to creatively do it and like present the data you get. Like, because if you want to keep track of your Momo, you'd have to check your SMS messages. Oh, today I sent money to Adjoa about Gobe. I did this, I did that. But you actually can't see. And everyone we know that uses Spotify like the Spotify rap feature, as you said. And actually also did the rap. So we got the idea from, obviously, it's just like a collaborative, inspired by Spotify. So we got the idea from Spotify. They present the total amount of like listens you did, who you listen to most, and all of that. So we wanted to like find a way to bring this all in a financial app, like in a fintech app. So what we did, the idea we came up first was like creating an app where like all you could sync your EcoBank account, ABSA, mobile money there. Then at the end it's telling you, oh, Kojo, you spent this thing on food today. So like in your referencing, you could like link everything together, and like that was the idea. But like what Joel said was like so powerful. The mentors, they were amazing. Especially the thing from Stambik. Because that was our first idea. But we had to iterate 3 or 4 times before we built what we presented, which was not even an app. Right? Because I think there was an amazing picture where we were all like just listening to them. Because I've seen smart and intelligent people, but it's rare to see wise people. And so we saw wise people in like this thing. Because like Uncle Solomon, the guy that wrote the book of Proverbs, describes wise people in a different way. And we could like see that because we were all from Persec. That's how we know like each other. And like we've been to things like this, and like we've seen smart judges, we've seen smart people all about, but like these were like wise people. And we're just
I mean, in what way did it impact your product? What way did they affect your solution? At the end, what came out of it that you were easy? It was much easier to build in that short time.
Okay, so you see, there's one thing with tech people, there's like some pride, right? Because when you own a solution and you believe it will work, but like we have to like be humble when like they started talking. Because like there was this guy called Pierre. He works in Stambik, and he actually he broke down our minds into like chambers. And actually showed us the light. So we wanted to create an app. And obviously, when it comes to an app, there's a limitation to how far you could get. Because getting you to download a FinWrapped app will take layers of marketing. You'd have to see like 4 times on your TikTok. Like someone showing it on TikTok, maybe someone talking to you, or me telling you to download it. But they were like, the app people, you already have apps on your phone or EcoBank on your phone or whatever. The apps are already there. So why not just like, and these apps already use APIs and some SDKs. So why not be like the Google Maps of them financial tech, like
so kind of like a plugin. Okay, or
API SDKs. So why not just be like the Google Maps to their Uber or to because Uber, Yango, all the region the Google Maps SDK API. So why not be that and try to create your own thing? Obviously, we want to create our own thing too.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not. You can still be the Google Map because Google Maps is on your
Also,
phone.
yeah, it's a standalone.
But then it changed our mindset and our whole business model because we'll make bank from this. Not for the hackathon's sake.
Yeah.
This is a real life idea.
Yeah.
We literally had a team, like a branch team meeting yesterday because Tikana Bainti. So we literally had a meeting yesterday and like we are taking over Ghana. I won't even lie. I'm saying here and
Okay, so in the next 6 months, 3 months, what should we see come out of your idea? Or what's the plan?
Okay,
Maybe
so I'll
even
talk,
beyond
I'll talk to you first since you're asking the question.
Yeah.
The next 6 months, you'd have the app on your phone,
Okay.
number one, and you start hearing about collaborations with possibly these other big fintechs
Okay.
from MTN, Momo, EcoBank. Okay. You start hearing, it's a promise, I don't lie. So.
What name did you give to the product?
FinWrapped.
FinWrapped.
Yeah, so fintech wrapped.
Okay.
At first it was Momo wrapped.
Okay.
But when the mentors came to do all their, we had to like
Iterations and
all the iterations, and we even had to rebrand. So we started building like we spent like 12 hours thinking.
Yeah.
So we saw other people. So that was one beautiful thing I liked about my team. Okay. We actually didn't care what anyone was building because we so believed in what we had. Yeah. Thanks to the Holy Spirit, obviously. Yeah. We so believed in what we have. Yeah. So we not for once did we go to any other team to check what they were working on. Yeah. And like we just started like once we knew what we were supposed to do. Yeah. I was a back-end guy. We have some amazing, the best Flutter dev in the whole West Africa. He's also like, his name is Husseini. Okay. He's here to probably he'll come and talk to you. Yeah. We had like the best front end guy making screens in less than like 15. Amazing stuff. Awesome. We had an AI guy too. Yeah, he works with a Lithuanian company. He's not a small boy. And Ralph too also helping with the AI. Okay. And our team was just amazing. But when we got what we needed to do and we were getting positive feedback from the judges, from the mentors, it was just like a go.
Awesome. So we would add there maybe a link to what you have or anything. So people can look out and check it out. Thank you so much. Where can they maybe catch up with what you are working on?
Oh yeah, so just connect with me on LinkedIn, number one.
Then what's the name on LinkedIn?
Bright Habada.
Okay.
Yeah. Connect with me on LinkedIn and you would see like progress reports.
Okay.
Then we are looking to launch like as soon as possible. Okay. Obviously, but like it's there. So we are working. So just follow me and probably you see some of my teammates there too. And just see where we are. Awesome. Probably there'll be some newsletters and things around. So yeah.
Awesome, right. All right. So thanks so much. You have the first runner up. That's by the first runner up join us. So yeah, we have this first one. Yeah, so we have the first runner up here, Encrypted Decryptors.
Encrypted Decryptors. Yeah, once again I'll say I know it's a mouthful, but that's just how the cookie crumbles.
Come again.
Encrypted Decryptors.
Okay.
Yes. So we have a slogan called Decoding the Future and Encrypting Success. That was the inspiration behind the name. Okay. You first of all need to understand what the future holds and to secure it. So being in the tech space, to understand what the future holds means you need to decode it. And to secure it, you need to encrypt it.
Well, I think this one, maybe after coding the thing for book or something.
Maybe something philosophical.
So what's the problem you're solving?
Yes.
How did you come by it?
Yeah, as Leonardo da Vinci said, necessity is the mother of all inventions. And so to find the problem or to come up with the app we are building, we had to identify the problem. Yes. So we had about 7 or 8 ideas when we came and we had to actually sieve it out. And our idea was in a way very similar to the second runner-up's idea. Talking about how financial data or financial transactions is spread all over the place. And during their pitch meeting, Habada made a statement. He was like, we have vitamins. Yes, I like that statement so much because it's all about convenience. You need it, but you do not know you need it. And that is what Financial Copilot was here to solve. The issue about having so many transactions across various applications, but not being able to organize and analyze your financial transactions, both income and expenditure.
Okay, so when we thought about it, we asked ourselves, how can we address this issue? Well, a vast majority of my teammates, I would say 60% of us were students or are students.
Okay.
And so
Students from where? Sorry to interrupt, but students from where?
we have an Accra Technical University rep,
Interesting.
a UPSA rep,
Wow.
a University of Ghana rep.
Okay.
Yes, the 3 students.
Okay.
And the 2 other teammates were from, like, they had graduated.
Okay.
Yes. So we would have thought about the solution in the mindset of a student,
Okay.
i.e., without the industry experience, but with the help of our mentors and our 2 senior developers. Yes, they helped us refine our idea to actually identify what the market dictates we build, not just what we feel is right. That is the difference between an idea and a product.
Okay.
You can have an idea, but if you do not identify what the market accepts and what it does not accept, you are going to fail to launch.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. And so at the end, what was the solution? And how did AI apply to you people?
Okay. So the solution was the financial co-pilot. I believe my senior brother said so. Yes. So we came up with a solution that AI is going to have access. I know I'll address that very soon. AI is going to have access to all your financial transactions and help you make financial decisions, just as the name says, the co-pilot to assist you. So the key thing was that we understand most financial transactions have receipts, and they are usually in the form of either email, PDF, or SMS. But a vast majority of them are SMS based. And so we leveraged on the existing technology, mostly provided by Android, to access SMS messages. But we understand there was a data concern, and so we made the necessary adjustments to our product to ensure there was no data stored on a cloud that could potentially lead to a data breach. So everything was stored locally on the user's device.
Okay, awesome. So in the next 3 to 6 months, what do you see coming off your idea, your product? What do you want to do on it? How far do you think you'd have gotten to, or would you expect to have gotten to by then?
Yeah, so within the next 3 to 6 months, we have already identified the target market. We have.
Is it like some coded secret you don't want to share, like the target market? Can I ask, like?
Oh, don't worry. The target market is actually everyone. Everyone has various apps they use for transactions, so everyone at all is involved. But as it stands now, given the MVP we have, the minimum viable product we have, the main target audience is going to be Android users. But for future iterations, we are going to look for solutions for iOS users too. Yes. So the end goal, or the goal within this 3 to 6 months period, is to fine tune our app and to polish the agent to make sure that it gives tailored and proper financial advice based on your transactions.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I mean, it's nice having the Encrypted Decryptors here. And finally, we want to take our winner of the hackathon. Okay, so we have the team from Westland Valley here. You want to introduce yourself?
My name is Chris Ayedati.
Okay.
I'm the team leader and I'm here representing Westland Valley.
So what was the problem for Westland Valley? What are you solving?
So for Westland Valley, coming into the hackathon, actually what we did is all our ideas into one.
Okay.
That is
How
what
many
you see.
ideas were there?
So we are 4 on the team coming into the hackathon. So we have Clifford O'Fleet, who is our Chief Technology Officer.
Okay.
Yes, we have Selali Bedema,
Okay.
the Chief Marketing and Sales Officer.
Okay.
We have
You have a
Jeffrey.
company already.
Yes. Westland Valley. So I'll tell you the story of how we became Westland Valley. We have Jeffrey Curtis Dyson, who is our chief visionary and design officer.
Okay.
And then there's me, who who helps with front end, and the chief quality assurance officer.
Okay.
Yes. So with Westland Valley, how we became Westland Valley is since 2019. We are a group. We are actually students who met in Game Park.
Okay.
Yes. So same class, same courses, and over the time we formed a group, which we actually used to do school projects and group presentations. And so we actually at Westlands, all of us reside at Westlands, so
Okay.
Westlands and Silicon Valley. So that is the
Westland Valley.
Westlands Valley.
Okay.
Yes. And then so in Active we actually came up this with a chant or slogan. So that is why we come up when you mention to Westland Valley. Yes.
Interesting. All right. So you say you brought up a number of problems. What were the problems? And what was the final problem you settled on?
So when we're discussing, we're coming up with our ideas. We found out that there are two things where we struggle with when it comes to financial decisions.
Okay.
Where we would wish that AI would solve.
Yeah.
So you have those of us. You find out that there's the black tax.
Okay.
Where you have to be sending money to a couple of people when you receive money, or maybe you work in some freelance or you do something.
Yeah.
And then we found out that most of us do struggle with knowing where our money comes in and goes out.
Yeah.
So that is where we honed in on the idea of using LLMs and voice to send money to reduce the time that you
Perform
perform transactions. And then where we want to make sure that each and every person has their own intelligent financial assistant. So we coming in, we found out that I think most of us some of us in the team use ChatGPT to try and get a hold of what our finances look like.
Okay.
Some of us were putting in our bank statements, Momo statements,
Okay.
and then we found out that we're trying to find out. Some of us were hopping from app to app to see which one reduces the time that we have to send money to people. So that is why we decided that we'll build our own solution. This is what we'll be doing at the hackathon.
Okay. So at the end, what became the solution?
So the solution is what you call Mana.
Okay.
Mana. So if you are familiar with the Ghanaian language, Charlie Mana tu Sediko.
Okay.
So that is
for those who are not familiar with the Ghanaian language, what does mana mean?
Mana means can I get?
Okay.
Or can you? Yes. So that is Mana. So Mana helps individuals. So it can help all of us. Say I want to send. You just tell it. I want to send 100 CDs to James. I want to send 200 CDs to Mom.
Okay.
I want to send 500 CDs to Nadia.
Okay.
Yes.
That's all. So in the next 3 to 6 months, what do we see come out of Mana?
Yeah. So the next 3 to 6 months, you should expect Mana to be launched. We are having some mishaps with the domain name.
Okay.
Domain name. So yes, but the next 6 months you should expect Mana to be launched. Right now, what we are working on is the voice models.
Okay.
We are working on perfecting them. So you see, I think when it comes to AI, you see that there's a challenge with how it's able to recognize African dialects and African voices.
Yeah.
So that is what we are working on to perfect. We've already seen that there are some quite open source solutions on the market. So we are looking at integrating that into our system, and so that is where we are now. In the next 3 to 6 months, you should see Mana in a live beta version.
Awesome. But before maybe I come back to you, Kwabena, seeing the teams again, talk of their ideas.
Yeah.
What was the expectation before the hackathon, and after what realization did you come to? Not knowing the teams, not knowing the ideas that would have come up, and kind of knowing the work.
Yeah. So before the hackathon, right? Frankly, I would say my expectations were very low. I had some low expectations, right? The people would turn up, the solutions they would bring within the short time, and I must say that I was surprised.
Okay.
Yeah, because I saw them working tirelessly, like through the night. I thought when I do rounds through the classrooms, I'll see like half of them still, but they were actually awake. They were working, and they brought us some very good solutions. And even listening to them again, I can see that some of them have gone to think through some of the feedback that the judges gave them.
Okay.
And you can, from what they are saying, I can hear some little improvements being done. And I think that the 3 to 6 months question you're asking them, we are going to see something being done. For me, I like effort. I like the momentum that they are putting in, and I pray that they'll push it, right? So that the next time that we have another hackathon, they can come and see that I was here last year. I had an inspiration. We did this, and today we are here with this. So that we can see that progress going on. And for some of them too who want to do their go into corporate to work, want to see some of them getting opportunities in places that will help them appreciate the industry even better, so that they can bring out solutions. So that's where I stand on that.
So for a man as well, not on the product per se, but did you expect the kind of competition, the kind of ideas that came in for the hackathon? Did you think it met your expectation, or it exceeded it?
It exceeded it. It exceeded it. When we spoke with some of our teammates, we were quite shaken. We were quite shaken. So I think there was one team that were building something with AI and investments.
Okay.
So we were quite shaken with where their ideas, and it's all how would I say, they were all top-notch ideas towards what we brought to the table. So we were quite shaken, we were quite taken aback. I think that was on Saturday, the night going into Saturday, when we started then we started meeting with them and talking with them, and then we were quite shaken.
But how did you feel like getting to hear that you are the winner? No, you were the winner.
So getting to hear that we were the winner, I was actually very excited. I actually jumped and shouted. So once it hit that we had to submit our work, from that time till we were shortlisted, I was nervous. So my teammates were nervous. And actually our chief marketing and sales officer, Selali, I think he was the one who was energetic. He was like, yes, we would win this thing. So he was calling each of us and saying, yes, we would win this thing, we would win this thing. And sitting there, and then you would hear, okay, this is the second runner up. You hear the first runner up. Then the winner, when the list came, and then they started mentioning the names, Team Banners, Team X, and we were hearing the names today. And once I heard, once I heard it, I jumped and I screamed, and my teammates jumped and we screamed. And walking down, you see all of the joy on our faces. And then being handed a check. Being handed a check. It wasn't until we got out that I was like, oh, this is actually real. This is real. We won it. We won first place.
And I think one interesting thing that even when we're planning, in as much as this was a competition, we're not selling a very competitive spirit. What we were selling was collaboration. So they were not working in silos. So we allowed them to collaborate with each other, create networks, because you might bring out a solution that from the hackathon, you might need more people to come in to make it work. So I'm excited when he said that they went around, had conversations, saw what the other teams were doing. So we are trying to build that collaborative spirit so that these guys can come together and make things happen for themselves.
So in your last words, on behalf of the Manna team, what words do you have to people maybe looking to participate in the next hackathon by Achieve, hackathon with Achieve by Petra? What advice, what do you think, inspiration do you want to share with them?
Okay, so what advice I would give is, first off, go for it.
Okay.
Go for it. Go for it with everything you have. There was, you will see your teammates, you would see some of them with the ideas they have, but then I think one thing my teammates brought to the table, which maybe I quite didn't have, is the grit to go on with it. So just go with it with all you have. Have confidence. Have confidence in your vision. And if it's that you are joining the next hackathon by Achieve, you should know that you are going to get all the support you need. So I think what really helped us is the mentors. So you will have the mentors come out. I think we had Pierre, we had Pierre, Stefan, we had Sedem, we had, I think there was Olivia, then we had how am I forgetting his name? I think is it Reginald? Reginald, superb coder.
Yeah.
So they came to talk. They spoke to us. I think one thing they also did was they helped us to make to preach the message that our product is commercially viable.
Okay.
Which they said you have the idea, but you also have to make sure that it's commercially viable.
Yeah.
So that's where we sat down. Celali as a group, we sat down and then we spoke about the idea, who our target audience is going to be, who we are targeting, and then
that's what.
That
Awesome. Could you, Kwabena, your last verse for everyone who is looking to get into the next hackathon, and what Achieve has for them to So what would be your last verse for them?
So what I would say is, if you have a solution, come with it. Come all out. Don't hold back. We are there to support. And there was a team they registered 2 teams, right? They registered for one team, for the other team. They got there, and 2 from the other team didn't come. 2 from the other team didn't come, and they had to form the team there and there.
Wow.
What team was that? Encrypted Decryptors, and they were number 3. So they got number 2. So they got there, and they were able to form a team that was able to win a cash prize.
Wow.
So just come all out, right? Come and put and let us know what you have. And I also want to say a big thank you to our volunteers. Our volunteers were superb. They were very, very supportive. I don't want to mention names. I might miss some of these names. I don't want to holla. But our volunteers were very amazing. And I also want to say a big thank you to our sponsors. Consolidated Bank Ghana, and Black Star Advisors, and then all our partners. Building Bytes was a partner. Thank you guys for coming through for us. We had Slightly Techy, we had Gamers Hive, Code and Cocktails, our organizing partners. I hope I've not missed anyone.
A number.
Yes.
If they didn't mention your name, probably are very special. That's why.
Yes, thank you for that. So so thank you for that, and we are also looking forward to next year. We want more sponsors, more partners. Kweku Tech. Kweku Tech was a good guy.
Congress as well.
Dev Congress.
Dev Congress. Yes. So we are looking to making this very big. And I would just say the future is exciting.
Glad.
So guys, bring it on. And then 1 million coders. We are waiting for you.
Okay, so thank you so much for joining us. This was a great session. Having talk about how AI is affecting or can impact finances in Ghana with Achieve by Petra. So it was nice having you. Listen to our podcast, watch the other ones, like, share, comment, whatever you can do on anything, like just do it. And we'll be glad to hear from you. Thank you. Have a good time. See you on another episode. Bye.